125 needs to go to 126.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your Liberty Radio on a Thursday night. Thursday night, August the 1st, 2024. We established that in the pre-show segment. It's now August the 1st in honor of course, Vic Firth.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's right. Or as Jada Pinkett Smith said, well, hello, August.
Wait, is there a joke there? I didn't get that.
Because Jada Pinkett Smith had an affair on Will Smith with a guy named August.
Oh, did she seriously? I didn't know that was the dude's name.
Yeah, that was his first name.
Wow.
August. Yeah. And so, well, hello, August. And he was happy
Wow.
to see her.
What a whore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keep my wife out your motherfucking mouth. There you go.
That's right. Or I'll
Tell it
bitch
to
slap your
August.
ass on live television.
Tell it to August, Will Smith.
Well, my goodness, Yona. It's a brand new month. Remember, we have now left the month of July behind. It's the month of August.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah?
I'm definitely feeling it.
I have a feeling we're in for some high silliness this month.
Yeah, the clown shit, the ooga is about to intensify like a motherfucker. Trust me on that
Do you have any predictions for us?
one. Yeah, I think we're going to see Guyliner move to the top of the ticket.
Oh, we're going to lose
yeah.
Cheeto Dick in August.
Yep.
Nah, no, that doesn't
Right.
fit with the prophecy, though.
That, honestly, Cheeto Dick dropping from the ticket seems more like the total October surprise.
Perhaps.
But I really like what I saw. I want to say it was it Beaver? I was in Beaver, Ohio. I think so. And somebody had the old Trump sign with Trump Pence. And, obviously Pence is not on the ticket anymore. It's Vance. And so they were an enterprising MAGA fan out there in rural Ohio. So they just took the magic marker and changed the PE to a VA. Blam! Trump Vance. Problem solved.
Yeah.
There you go. Didn't even have to get a new sign. Just change the PE to a VA and we're done. Simple as that.
That is American ingenuity right there.
I'm telling you.
It's like the dude that was there in Butler, like on the scene, Johnny on the spot. He was one of the first people that the media came to talk to. He had that hat, the Trump 2020 hat that he had ever so cleverly taken a Sharpie and put an X over that last zero and put a 4 with the Sharpie right next to it.
That's right. Homespun grassroots support, and the racism intensifies.
That's right.
Right. I mean, I like the discussion that was going on this morning with Texas Slim there about bigotry beef and every scrumptious bite.
Oh, over on the AM Wake Up, you're talking about.
Yes. It was on the AM Wakey Bakies.
Well, apparently that is a thing. That's a known thing that people know about. That it's apparently it is the racism that makes your barbecue taste so damn good.
Yep. Like that barbecue sauce we're all waiting to come out from Teal. There, I think it's called Hard R barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I want to know like how long have they had this? How long have they been sitting on this? Like, have they been has Teal been in the kitchen just like slowly stirring a pot over a low flame for like the last 6 months, just to get the right amount of bigotry in every bite.
Listen, that barbecue sauce is so good. You take one bite and you say, "Damn, Niagara, Niagara Falls. Go visit now. Lines are long." Anyways, all right. I think it's done.
Oh no.
Go ahead and
Yeah, what
export.
what is that has your attention so
We're gonna call
completely
this
enthralled?
the first cut of a new track called Egg Shaped.
What's that all
Um,
about?
let's see
Oh
where
my goodness. Settle down, Deathy. Come on.
this is DJ High Yona with Leslie Stahl, Bill Gates, and Jeffrey Epstein.
Hold up. What? Run that back again?
DJ High Yona with Leslie Stahl, Bill Gates, and Jeffrey Epstein. The name of the song is called Egg Shaped. And
Is that a reference to Harvey Weinstein?
no, that would be a reference to Jeffrey Epstein's egg shaped penis.
I thought that was also like they said that about Weinstein and that it's like sewn to his leg or something.
Ew.
Yeah. Like he's got something really weird going on.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Wow.
probably why he had to, coerce so many women to have sex with him. Makes sense,
Yeah,
you know.
see, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense.
Exactly.
But like the famous interview of Bill Gates where it's on the McNeil Lara News Hour on Petroleum Broadcast System or whatever it is, PBS. Um, and Leslie Stahl is in the most unenviable position of having to press Bill Gates about Jeffrey Epstein. And so, um, I got the first cut done, but I know that as I start to remix this thing, Leslie Stahl kept going, uh, and Bill Gates keeps going, and then I've got Jeffrey Epstein on the depositions going, uh. So I'm gonna be mixing together a bunch of uhs. It's gonna be awesome, Drizzle.
So it's they're having a threesome, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna
Oh
be
my goodness.
um. But like, it's that interview where she says, "So, is there a lesson for people to take away from this?" Well, I had meetings with Mr. Epstein, and that was a mistake, and I cut it off. Well, is there a lesson for anyone to take away from this? Well, you know, um,
Well, he's
he's
dead.
dead,
So,
so
in general, you always have to be
I guess you have
careful.
to be careful.
That's right.
That interview, that interview. Because after I did the Noel Godin Pie Facer song, um, you know, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. All due respect to Noel Godin, and I should probably put a
So wait a minute. That
translation.
was Leslie Stahl that was interviewing Dr. Bill when he said that?
Yeah,
Oh, holy shit.
yeah,
I was not
yeah,
paying that close attention at the
yeah.
time.
That was Leslie Stahl
Wow.
filling in for McNeil and Lair. Because I mean, I know well, Lara is still alive, but McNeil croaked.
Oh yeah. Did the Rona get him?
No, he croaked long before the Rona. I think he died of swine flu.
Ah.
Um,
Probably
but
just as well.
the yeah, I it was wild. Like almost well, I went through 4 different dead links trying to get the audio to the, Jeffrey Epstein deposition. It's weird. It's like somebody's been going around and just scrubbing everything from the
What? It
internet.
was
That's
difficult to
weird.
find?
Difficult to find Epstein
I'm
stuff.
having a little trouble believing you right now.
It was an
You're
egg-shaped
saying that
problem,
they
but
are
I
you saying
cracked it.
they remove things from the internet, Yona? Is that what you're saying?
This is great, man. But anyways, the Noel Go Dad, the song you debuted last night. And for those
Oh yeah,
wondering
yeah,
about
with the
the
French.
proper pronunciation, it's l'entertage.
L'entertage.
L'entertage, which means the
Excuse me.
pie facing. It's the noun,
I'm
the
getting
pie
choked up
facing.
just thinking about it.
L'entertage. Because to
L'entertage.
entarter is to pie in the face. Like, je voudrais entarter
Wait a minute.
Dr.
So
Bill
they
Gates.
actually have a verb for
Or to pie someone in the face. Entarter. And the word l'entartage means the pie facing, because it's a profession, right?
is that
What is your job? Je fais de l'entartage. Je
I think
suis
we have a new
un
hashtag,
entarteur.
ladies and gentlemen.
Entarteur. Because that's what Godin is called. He's called the entarteur, which means the pie facer. And so that's going to be the name
The pie
of the
facer.
album. The pie facer. Entarteur.
I like
Pie
that.
facer.
I like that. Yeah.
Entarteur.
Hashtag let them eat pie.
That's right. Get
Yeah.
entarted. Because a tout, Tarte, une tout, is a pie in French. Une tout, a pie. Not to be confused with a gâteau. Gâteau would be cake. But we're talking about pie, like a meringue pie or a cream pie. The kind you can smack into the face of Bill Gates when he's trying to stroll into the Davos fucking New World Leaders Conference. And then next thing you know, it's all over your glasses and you have to go to the bathroom and oh my God, what just happened?
Yeah.
Because Noel
I
Godin
bet
made
he
Bill
cried.
Gates cry, he's a saint in my book.
Well, he's
The
a
man is
saint
a saint.
regardless.
Now, I don't know if you could understand his French, like what I repeated, but like I went through a number of his interviews and it blew my fucking mind because the interviews are from like the 1990s and the 2000s. And he's talking about, uh, uh, you know, uh, nous allons rejoindre nouveau monde. We're about to experience a world where uh, il y a totalement EBT. Everything is totally EBT. Everything is totally electronic card.
Yeah.
Like um, using ATM, like
Swipe
where the
card.
chip.
Yeah.
Everything is with the chip. And
Or I mean,
this
if you
new,
want to take it to old school, it'd be punch card.
I'm trying to see here. He's talking about this new techno surveillance capitalism
Mhm.
is directed by Bill Gates and his friends. He is at the head of the list of people who think that it appears because of their security team that they're untouchable. But I proved that this is not the case, and he tasted my pie. Basically, is what he'd say. Yeah, I'm just translating because you're listening to the song last night. It's all in French. You're like, this just sounds like faggot, but he's a really based, cool faggot. To be fair,
Again, I'm not passing judgment on the French people or anything like that. It's just again because I associate French with French Canadian.
right?
So that's
And,
why I make that
and of
association.
course, I should
Yeah.
also point out that Noel Godin is not, in fact, French nor from France.
Well, no, Godin would be,
He's from Belgium,
yeah,
where they have the great waffles.
yeah.
And home of one of the oldest universities on the planet, the University of Louvain, or Universiteit Leuven, if you speak one of those fucked up Dutch, Flemish, fucking yeah, whatever. They speak 3 languages in Belgium. Anyways, isn't that where Jean Claude Van Damme's from with the splits? Yeah, yeah,
Quite possible.
yeah. The muscles from Brussels, Jean Claude Van Damme.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Brussels, Belgium, which is also home, obviously, to Brussels sprouts. Not a fan. Not a fan. You can take that and the asparagus and chuck it in the vegan bin. I'm not eating it. I'll have a steak, please.
Jean-Claude Camille Francois van Varenberg.
What?
Yeah. Apparently
Well, how
that's
many fucking names this
that's
guy
his
got?
name. His stage name is Van Dam.
Oh,
His real name is Van Varenberg. That sounds rather aristocratic if you ask me.
yeah. Especially the Francois part.
Wow.
Jean-Claude Francois.
Camille. Camille Francois.
Jean-Claude Camille Francois Van Varenberg Van Dam.
Well, no, his stage name is Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like, there's no Van Damme in his actual real name.
Oh,
Yeah.
just the Camille Francois Varenberg.
That's right. That's right. As if Jean-Claude wasn't faggy enough, they throw the Camille in there for,
and Francois. Holy shit, with the fucking C with the little worm hanging off of it.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, that's totally faggy.
Isn't it, though?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Although, to be fair, you look at those early Jean-Claude Van Damme movies like Bloodsport and um God, they're all of it, it seems like, and it's always got the cheesy fucking montage with the rock music toward the end with like 3 or 4 minutes of, a rundown of what you just watched for the last hour and a half, a recap. And it seems like he's so gay, he's like acting, he's like going over the top to prove that he's like macho and hetero.
Right.
But
Well, that's what you do when you're a raging homosexual. Especially back during like the 80s.
Yeah.
When it was verboten. You weren't allowed to be gay in the 80s. Not really. You know,
I mean,
they were
I wasn't
trying to
really
make it
catching
okay,
on.
but it wasn't okay yet. And like you could get lynched in a dark alley if you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Those were things that actually still happen.
Impressionable age, and I didn't really catch on to Jean-Claude Camille Francois.
That's
Time
right.
Cop.
That's
That
right.
was the fucking movie, Drizzle. Time Cop. That's when I was like, okay,
That's right.
you guys get a little gay, man. This whole fucking movie's getting a little too gay for my likings.
Yeah, Greg.
What's
Greg
going
got
on
Time
here?
Cop. So Greg, give yourself a bonus point if you're scoring at home.
Yeah, is this guy secretly named Camille Francois? I wondered. Now I know.
Now you know.
Now I know. And he's not even Van Dam. Van de Varenberg. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what.
I bet he's got a family coat of arms and everything. I bet his parents' house has the fucking 2 knights with the chain, the suits of armor guarding the door. And yeah.
Let's
Belgium,
find
man.
out.
Belgium, man. That's where a bunch of the fucking crusaders came from that went and swashbuckled their way right through fucking Beirut, man. In the Holy Crusades. And then they went on another Holy Crusade for King Leopold down in the Belgian Congo. Funny story. The Belgians practiced slavery until the 1970s. I'm sorry. Did I say? Yeah, 1970s. Shout out Belgian Congo. Anyways, and then Patrice Lumumba had to fuck all that up. Long story. Anyways,
Trying to see what I can find.
you know, I have a song with Patrice Lumumba where
Do
he
you?
insulted the Belgian king, and so they had the CIA kill him, and so the
Yeah, I think
CIA
it's his
killed him.
son. I have a recording of a snip of a speech his son made, I think, describing what
Oh,
happened to his father.
I've got the original Patrice Lumumba speech, the one that where he insulted the king of Belgium. I got the original, and then I got his daughter talking about it. That's I think that's called huh. I don't know. I wonder if I have it on Rumble. I should. Was that Chukadu? I think that's Chukadu de Lumumba.
Possibly.
I remember that. That's a very unique name because they only make Chukadoos in Congo. Uh, let's try it. Chukadu de Lumumba.
All right, so Van Varenberg, I can't find a coat of arms or anything like that. But Van Varenberg is predominantly Belgian, although there are Van Varenbergs in Brazil, France, Hong Kong, Mexico, and Spain. However, that works.
Wow.
Yeah. And the last name is most numerous in Belgium, obviously, where it is carried by 98 people, or 1 in 117,313.
Wow.
So not very common.
No, not at all.
It is mostly found in the Flemish region, where 90% of the Van Varenbergs reside.
Aha.
While
There's that funky Flemish Dutch language
yeah,
where you have to triple every vowel like Antwerpen,
yeah.
Inky Burky. And it almost sounds like Swedish, you know, the bork 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 herky durky burky durky.
Yeah.
One of those.
8% are found in the Walloon region, and
Yep.
Brussels capital region claims 2% of the Van Varenbergs. Not including Belgium, Van Varenberg is found in 5 other countries, those I already named off. And Brazil being one of those countries where 1% are found, and also 1% found in France.
Man, where
Very interesting.
uh,
Oh, I guess I'm going to have to save that and link it so people know I'm not just making it up, right?
yeah.
All right, I'll keep that open then.
Okay.
But who would have thought an actor would lie to us about something so trivial like their name, Yona?
Yeah.
Like, why would you
Make
try
mistake.
to hide your real identity?
I'm looking for my Chukadu because I could not find it online anywhere. So now I'm trying to find it in found it Le Chukadu de Lumumba because of course it's French. I had to put the fucking la in front. All right.
Yep.
Le Chukadu. And I've said the word so many times now. You're probably wondering, Yona, what in the fuck is a Chukadu? A Chukadu is a wooden scooter. made with a machete and a couple of logs, and they roll it down the hill and carry like basically like they're like semi trucks of the Congo, but they're powered with flip flops.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
That's a good way to transport stuff. You know, especially if it's big.
Until you have to go uphill.
That's true.
That's why you have a second guy that helps that runs behind it.
Yeah.
It's a system that's functioned pretty well in Congo, I think, for about the last 25,000 years. But I think it's due for an update. Perhaps.
No, that could be. That's very possible.
I mean, it's weird that they've got like high-speed rail stations and all this infrastructure out there, and yet still don't have like sewers and running water, and everyone's still pushing like log hewn fucking wooden scooters. I'm sorry, chukadoos. But thanks to the Chinese, there is some new high-speed rail stations around in that area in the eastern Congo. Because there's also rare earth minerals that, when standard gauge rails make their way next to the rare earth minerals, well, we can run 3 freight trains a day hauling bulk cargo, and,
Oh, hell
twice a
yeah.
week
That's
we'll
going to be a
run passenger
bonanza.
service.
Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
they're all over Africa.
Oh, fuck
They're all over.
yeah.
I mean, the Chinese were the first to get their feet into Africa with uh, the I want to say it's the Tazara Railway. You might have to fact check me on that.
Yeah, that was part of Belt and Road,
Tazara.
right?
This predates. This would be like Belt and Road Initiative 1.0, the very first BRI project ever in Africa. Because this is like Tazara Railway is like late 60s, early 70s. It was
Oh, wow.
completed in 73 because it connected uh where does it start? I think it starts at Dar es Salaam on the Indian coast of Africa there in Tanzania, hence Tazara. And it goes over to Zambia and Mbizi. Um, and then on up to Congo. And so with the Tazara Railway, the Chinese were able to get into the Congo and then expand upon there because the Congo already had the Belgian rail system in Congo. Tazara Railway. All right. Yes, upload that motherfucker. All right.
Oh, you were close. 1975
It's when it was finished.
is when it opened.
Okay. Yeah. They began because it took a lot of Chinese died building it. It
Yeah,
took
built
a
from
long time to
70 to
build it.
75 as a turnkey project financed and supported by China. Damn.
I'm just going off the top of my head,
Wow.
man.
So, wait. was
But
this?
you
This
fact
was
checked
in
me, and I was off
Tanzania?
by a year. Oh my god!
Yeah, the Tanzania Zambia Railway. So they went to China and they were like, yo, China, we want you to build us a railway. Like,
And they're like,
soup
fuck
to
yeah.
nuts, all of it. And China was like, all right, this is how much this is going to cost. And they were like,
Okay.
all right, we got that.
And it's still in operation today.
Damn. See, it was the largest single foreign aid project undertaken by China at the time at a construction cost of $406 million US, or the equivalent of $3.2 billion today.
Yeah. And that's how they got their foot in Africa. You see, if you want to get fact harder, come holler at your Liberty Radio, folks. We got all the facts just waiting for you.
Well, the Chinese do play the long game pretty much everywhere, except in bed, I'm told.
And you see,
that's the word on the street. I'm not trying to throw any shade at anybody. The
Tazara Railway.
That's the word going around.
Really became the template for what the Chinese basically, Tazara Railway in micro sense became the template for the Belt and Road Initiative in macro sense, because it's the first time that the Chinese went way out of their home region and put in such an just jaw-dropping amount of infrastructure. I mean, they literally built a railroad pretty much all the way across fucking Africa, because once they connected up to the Congo Railway goes to Atlantic Ocean ports. And so by the Chinese building this railway, they were able to now ship goods from the Indian Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean right through the middle of Africa, beginning in 1975, you said? Yeah.
Chat, we've already lost the chat. Insane. Absolutely insane.
Oh, they're really going to lose their minds when they hear the new track.
Oh, you
Egg
think so?
shape. Yeah.
So is it like is it a radio friendly like 3-minute track, 4-minute track this time, or is it one of the usual High Yona 7, 8, 9-minute tracks?
Now I know that I got carried away with my remix of Cell Phones Dead, because it's a 14-minute and 53-second song, but it's not 15 minutes. Almost.
Who do you think
Um,
you are, Adam Jones?
and so yeah, that was a bit ridiculous. Now, this one here, I actually had to cut it off short, and so it's only 5 minutes and 32 seconds. Normally, I like to go at
That's
least 7
reasonable.
minutes,
That's reasonable.
but this one, I mean, I can send it to you on Discord. I can send it to you on Telegram. I'm not sure
Oh, you
how
don't
you
want to
would.
try playing it tonight?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can play it. I just don't have a music video where I can send you
Ah,
music
gotcha.
video,
I
because I
gotcha.
just made the song, but I can send you the MP3 if you have a way to play an MP3.
I do have a way to play an MP3, but not so that you will hear it. Apparently.
Oh, but I could play it.
I think I think it has to be attached to a video.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do just an
Oh, well, I
audio
can hear it
source.
by just listening to it through the Rumble feed. So I'll just switch over to the Rumble feed while it's playing.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Well, we could do that at the end of the show.
All right. Let me go ahead and
That'll
send
work.
it over,
That'll work.
because right now I sent it on the Telegram to the Newsy channel, but I know Telegram is kind of a bitch.
Telegram is a bitch. Send it to me in Discord, and that'll make sure that
So it's
we can
called
hear it.
Egg Shaped. There it is. First cut. And send. Blammo. All right.
Go.
Now let's see about Lachukadoo. I was mentioning. Oh, it's good. All right. So let's see here. Let's go to screen share.
What are we doing? Aha.
You should be seeing some of those beautiful wooden scooters I was describing earlier.
There we go. Yeah, I got it pulled up.
And this is where I remixed an African pioneer in electronic music, the one and only William Onyebor, who is still alive and well, but he doesn't make music anymore unless he's singing gospel songs, because he's a reverend in his own church in the middle of fucking nowhere in Africa. But anyways, shout out to William Onyebor.
Good for him.
an African music pioneer. And of course, Patrice Lumumba for pissing off the Belgians and getting the Congo their independence. Goma, that's the town, Goma. And that is a Chukadu. Very crude. There are no breaks. As you can see, they only work down.
Combattant de l'indépendance, aujourd'hui victorieux.
Oh shit, he looks like Farrakhan.
Je vous salue
Right?
au nom du gouvernement congolais. À vous tous, mes amis, qui avez lutté sans relâche à nos côtés, je vous demande de faire de ce 30 juin 1960 une date illustre que vous garderez ineffaçablement gravée dans vos cœurs, une date dont vous enseignerez avec fierté la signification à vos enfants, pour que ceux-ci, à leur tour, fassent connaître à leurs fils et à leurs petits-fils l'histoire glorieuse de notre lutte pour la liberté.
Francois.
Another
Nous avons connu les ironies, les insultes, les coups que nous devions subir matin, midi et soir, parce que nous étions des nègres. Qui oubliera qu'à un noir, on disait tu, non certes comme à un ami, mais parce que les vous honorables étaient réservés aux seuls blancs.
See, he spoke right after the king spoke at the same meeting, the same diet. That's why it was such and it's strange. The king came down to Congo and said, hey, it's my idea that you guys are fighting for independence, so I decided to give it to you. Right. Lumumba was like, no, fuck you, we want our independence.
Lumumba, fille de Patrice Lumumba.
Le contexte de l'époque faisait que quand on était vraiment un nationaliste qui aimait son pays et que les mots d'ordre, bon, que tous les politiciens disaient indépendance, liberté économique, indépendance économique et tout ça, c'est qu'il y croyait vraiment et les gens se sont rendus compte que que ce n'était pas uniquement des slogans électoraux ou bien pour avoir des voix, mais que c'était un homme à partir d'un certain moment. On ne pouvait pas composer avec lui sur l'indépendance de son pays et sur certains principes qu'il a érigés. Et je pense que c'est pour cela qu'on a vu toute cette coalition, parce qu'il n'y avait pas que la presse, il y avait aussi l'Église qui a été aussi très pugnace et très dure vis-à-vis de Patrice Lumumba aussi. Et même pour d'autres politiciens qui avaient aussi lancé des mêmes mots d'ordre, qui avaient dit aussi les mêmes choses, mais ils n'ont pas été attaqués de la même façon.
On vous lâche au volant d'un bolide roulant à 200 km à l'heure, en sachant que vous n'avez jamais conduit de votre vie. On vous dit, allez-y, c'est votre tour. Dur apprentissage.
Wow.
Blammo. So he was gay?
No, it's the French. It's the French.
That's why he spoke French. That's why I was asking if he was gay. Yeah.
No, I so much of Africa had to learn French because of those damn colonizers.
Oh, that's right.
Can't.
When the white people came and took over.
Like, yeah, you can't talk that clicking language anymore. You have to speak our fancy gay French language. It has a certain je ne sais quoi. Yeah, so fucking pretentious. But I swear, every time I get around the fucking PMC parties and get around that crowd of fancy highfalutin types, you start dropping French. Oh,
Yeah.
You're so sophisticated, you know.
All right,
You
I
speak
have a
the
question.
fucking Spanish, and Spanish wins you no friends at parties.
It depends on who you're trying to make friends with.
Unless there's other Spanish speakers, then it's cool.
Well, hey,
Then you can all make one
look,
drink
if
up.
there are mamacitas running around, hablo español.
Sí, por supuesto.
Yeah.
Se puede torcerlo. Te veo en
So-
todas las cosas feas, mi amorita.
You might be the wrong person to ask this question to, Yona.
Uh-huh.
But is there like a definitive history of China during Mao's revolution? Like something that we can actually look at as being mostly legitimate as opposed to mostly propaganda? Because I would like to find something like that, I think.
I mean, to me, it seems like pre-Maoist China is more provincial and regional, where Fujian and Cantonese and other strong dialects, well, languages in their own right, predominate. Whereas Maoist China, which is still today, Maoist China is really more of a, instead of like a bunch of provinces or states that are confederated together like in Canada or the United States, it's just one super powerful federal government now, like Canada and the United States.
Hey,
There
look
you
at
go.
that.
Yeah,
Look, the
there you go.
Guardian's got it covered. The Cultural Revolution, all you need to know.
There you go.
By the Guardian. We can trust them.
Sure.
So I'm guessing there's probably not.
Yeah, that's been
Because if I
scrubbed.
remember correctly, when Mao's people took over, they basically shut everybody out.
Right. And if
Like
you didn't
everybody
like
that was
it,
not
then you
already
could
a
go,
part of the party was fucking, you're gone.
well, pretty much if you didn't like it, you just grease up your head and shove it up Chiang Kai-shek's ass and go swim to Taipei
Yeah.
and live out your days
Or
in
if you were a
Taiwan.
foreigner, you just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's why I'm curious if there is like a good history out there.
Hmm.
I might have some insight to what we find ourselves going through today. That was my thought, at least. Maybe we might be able to draw some parallels between that part of history and this part of history.
I would think that the Japanese probably have some history of China during that time period. However, asterisk. You see, um, everyone is, of course, aware of the bad stuff that the Nazi dudes did in Germany, before they won World War II and took over America. Shout out Operation Paperclip. But during World War II, the antics of the
America, Western
Nazis
Europe,
and
Australia.
massacring people here, there, and yon on the battlefield, as well as the death camps where they massacred Roma and handicapped and Jew alike. Because it wasn't just Jews. There was all kinds of people they loved
Yeah, it
killing.
was all the undesirables.
Yeah, yeah. Like a
All of the
basket. It was like a basket of deplorables, Hillary, and they just all went to camp.
Yeah, just like in the United States, because that's the whole thing. Is everybody always wants to point to Germany as being like the center of eugenics in the world, but they actually got it from the United States, who was putting laws into place like back in the 19-teens and 1920s.
After the Kerry Buck decision,
where
they're like,
if
"Hey, America,
you were
I
determined
like
to
what you're
be
doing with your
defective
imbecile
genetically, the state was allowed to do stuff to you."
Yep.
Yeah.
Lobotomize, sterilize.
Yeah. Whatever the
Back to
state
the
deemed
imbecile
to be
farm for
most
you, buddy.
appropriate for you and your stock.
We've got one of those imbecile farms over in the Shenandoah Valley for you, son. You're going back to Charlottesville. You're going to make tiki torches.
And most folks don't know that the majority of those laws stayed on the books until the 1970s.
That's right. That's right. Because it's about responsible human breeding. It's animal husbandry from the Homo sapiens species. And somebody has to govern the herd. That's why we have our bourgeoisie professional managerial class. They'll decide what you need to do, what you need to think, how far you can travel.
I don't know. I saw a story a couple days ago. Matter of fact, the percentage of young adults living with their parents in the United States is at its highest rate since 1940.
Wow.
84 years it has not been this high, percentage-wise. Because if we're going by like a per capita like amount of population, we shot way past the 1940 number. Long time ago.
I gotta say, I'm over 50 years old now, and thanks to Flower Bowl from downtown Detroit, Michigan, I've never been higher, and I'm happy to report that the Gordie Howe Bridge is nearing completion and should be open within a few weeks, providing a new highway connection between Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and Detroit, Michigan, United States of America, soaring over top of the Great Lakes and the Detroit River. Named after Gordie Howe, the awesome hockey player, eh?
So is that good for America's youth?
Yeah, it's going to provide another way to get the fuck out of the United States.
To get the fuck out? Yeah. But it seems to
go
be
to
what
Canada
they,
where it's even worse.
What they want people to do. I got the message early. I was like, oh, okay, we need to get the fuck out. That's what we need to do. And then they fucking chased me back with a goddamn hurricane.
I decided to take a different tack. I looked to my ancestors, my Eastern Cherokee ancestors, and, Andrew Jackson and General Winfield Shreve, Old Fuss and Feathers, others, told the Cherokee, hey, y'all need to get the fuck out. And Chief Dragon Canoe and the Chickamauga Cherokee and others were like, no, we were here first and we're going to stay, and y'all can get the fuck out. Duck, motherfucker. And we have a reservation in North Carolina today. If you were wondering, why are there Cherokee reservations in North Carolina and Oklahoma? Because some of the Cherokees went along the trail, and other Cherokees were like, no, fuck that.
I
Some
can respect
decided to retreat, and others decided to just reload. Fuck retreating. I'll just keep reloading, and we'll just keep shooting until they say fuck it. And guess what?
Till I'm
After
out
a
of shells,
15-year rebellion in Western North Carolina,
until
they finally
it goes
said,
click.
fuck it. All right. You can have this little patch of woods next to the Smoky Mountains. Fuck it.
Blammo.
Well, I mean, Jolly had turned himself in, and they killed Jolly and two of his sons as a sacrifice. But hey, it was worth it. They got it was all about securing the land base, because the land is everything. The land is forever. Peoples will come and go. The land is forever. You fucking ruin the land, and there is no forever for anybody. Just extinction.
Not true. But so 1940, the United States was coming out of what we were told was the Great Depression. 2024, people are complaining about how much they spend on groceries.
Oh, it gets worse.
Are we going? That's one thing. Is like,
it gets worse than that.
The tip of the iceberg, right? Are we going into the depression?
Okay, Wendy's Restaurant Corporation, McDonald's Restaurant Corporation, Walmart Corporation, all within the last 3 business days, have all been sending out black flag warnings to all their investors and shareholders that new trips to the restaurant are down, that receipts are down, that
What's
everybody
earnings
broke.
Report time?
And
that's why they're all putting these out at the same time.
Yeah, and so Wendy's is like, so we're not going to see as much sales. And the problem is with inflation and higher prices at the fast food.
Here's why that's significant,
I've reviewed
though.
Fast food is not fast or food, but with the 3% rise in the price of everything, their sales should be up by about 3%, but instead they're down by 6% at Wendy's and Walmart and McDonald's. But anyways,
down by 6%. That is significant.
Yeah.
But the reason why that's important is because these reports are covering the second quarter. So that's April, May, and June.
That's right.
Okay, which is spring going into summer, which is when you expect people in the United States to be going out of their houses and spending money. So if spending is down in second quarter when it's starting to warm up, in third quarter when it's already warm, spending's already going to be down.
Yeah. They're basically saying there ain't going to be no Christmas, and there's not going to be much of a third quarter.
Oh, they're canceling Christmas already.
Bump.
Okay.
There was no bump in the second quarter.
Well, we had a good run.
Checks.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be the one to call the North Pole, but somebody's going to have to call Santa and tell him, we'll get Trump to do it. You're fired. You're fired, Santa. No more Christmas for the peasants. It's almost time to go to camp.
Seems like it. It does seem like I'm waiting. I'm watching a few things. I got my eye on a couple of things, on the camp front. I'm not going to talk about them yet, but I'm watching a few things. Some very interesting legislation in Massachusetts. That news dropped today.
Jade Helm coming up too.
Jade Helm.
Another Jade Helm.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Already? Wait, which one was Jade Helm?
Jade Helm is when they have their little exercises there at Quantico off of I-95
Oh, in the little
and
makeshift town.
in the mock up American town where they
Yeah, yeah,
practice,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
rounding up the peasants,
I've driven
corralling.
by there.
No, what's the word? They kettling the hoi polloi, where you get the little rubber fencing and you just kind of kettle them together, like the New York Police Department did at Zuccotti Park with Occupy Wall Street and Brooklyn Bridge, kettling people, kettling them in with those like orange construction fences and like netting them in, and that way you can just kettle in like a group of 100 people and just put them all in fucking paddy wagons,
There you go.
book them and detain them. So,
I still
wow.
can't. I still can't figure out where the civil unrest is going to come from. I don't think it's going to be like last time, right? I don't think it's going to be like a police misconduct, whatever.
No,
Like that's not going to happen because it's not. They're not talking about that. They're not talking about it at all. What they are talking about, and what the governments are trying to do something about, is the free speech activists.
yeah,
So I
more
would think if
censorship,
there
please.
was, if there was any sort of place where you might expect a powder keg to go off, it might be somewhere in that area.
I would have to defer to the uh, the mother of most of the Yonalings when she says that would be Ogana, the groundhog woman,
Hmm.
Ogana, and she says that there will be complete civil unrest the moment they start knocking on people's doors and coming for their guns,
Oh well,
and
of
it'll come to
course.
that, and
No,
it
no,
will
no, no,
come to
no,
that.
no, no, no. That, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Is that's the moment where everything explodes. That's when constitution and nation state and all of that bullshit completely dissolves, right? Is when they come to confiscate the guns. All bets are fucking off at that point.
Yep.
That is the end game for the United States.
And
All
the
right?
problem with that is most of the people that are pro First Amendment and into gun ownership happen to also be working in your county sheriff departments and your police departments. And quixotically, yeah, that's a word,
Right.
quixotically, ironically, um, it's the police departments and the county sheriff departments. Like, for example, let me go to a specific recent example with Michelle Lujan Grisham in Albuquerque, in the governor of New Mexico, and she put in
Right.
these
Protecting
crazy
the public health.
gun restrictions based upon her authority to protect gun
Just
health
like
because
in
there
the
was
state of Washington, it is legal for the public health department, if they determine that you are a threat to the public health, they can come and get you.
right. That was Governor Jay Bybee that put
Yep,
that red letter law in.
that's right.
But of course, red letter laws were begun by the Second Amendment's greatest defender, Emperor Cheeto Dick himself. People forget
Well, of
that. I mean,
course.
Trump is the hero for anti-vaxxers who champion the Trump vaccine, and Trump is the hero for gun owners, Trump who championed the red letter laws. So, that's one reason why I got to give a shout out right now to David Knight because, he's one of the few level headed, what I would consider to be professional journalists who has been consistently accurate and factual when it comes to the Cheeto Dick. He is one of the few professional journalists that does not suffer from the two-edged sword that we all know and love as Trump derangement syndrome, where you absolutely love him or absolutely hate him. Trump derangement syndrome is absolutely knuckin' futz, Joe Dirt.
Oh yeah, did you get lost? I was distracted.
No, no, that was I ended on Joe Dirt.
No, okay, all right. I got
Shout
nothing
out
to.
David
I got
Spade.
nothing to play off of Joe Dirt on. But no, it's again coming for the guns is the end game, right? What sets it off? What's the catalyst? Because you've got.
Well, you would think as many mass shootings as we've had that they already would have had their catalyst.
That's
for
why
gun
I think there's
confiscation.
the false flag is going to be a mass shooting at the DNC. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Like it doesn't even. That's the
Considering,
thing is, it doesn't
oh
even
my
have
God,
to be at the actual convention site, right? It can be a block down the street.
do you
It
know
just
how
has
much?
to happen at the same time.
Do you know how much history there is in Chicago, in
Do
Cook
you know how
County,
many
Illinois?
shootings there are in Chicago on a daily basis?
Right, but I'm talking
All
historically.
you got to do
You
is
have
just make sure it happens close enough. That's it.
Labor Day is celebrated around the world on May the 1st, and it was in the United States on May the 1st until they tried to erase the history of the Chicago Haymarket
Right.
massacre,
The Haymarket affair.
where the Chicago police just opened fire and mowed down striking meat packers. Um, and then you have
Well, to be
that,
fair, there were communist instigators in that crowd. So some of them deserved it.
and then you have the massacre of uh the black railroad porters and workers in Chicago, and they were viciously fired upon and attacked, and they were represented legally by R. Upton Sinclair, who took under his wing the young pastor Martin Luther King Jr., and that led to the whole student violent non-coordinating committee and the whole civil rights thing. Again, and that all began out of, again, a false flag trying to say that this was a violent mob when in fact they had, as always, agent provocateur, plainclothes instigators on the force, plainclothing it, instigating it. And then they have their raison d'etre for opening fire and just mowing down people with bullets, which they've done in Chicago now. Major big league time, like 4 different major massacres by the state using state violence to massacre workers that were protesting. So, I mean, America has this just blood soaked, blood dripping labor history that has almost completely been deleted from all American history books. Good luck finding anything talking about the Haymarket Massacre or the massacre of the black train porters
Yeah.
or
Or even the
Ludlow,
Ludlow massacre.
Colorado or Blair Mountain
Yeah.
or the
Any of
Pinkertons
that
and
shit.
Carnegie's goons, or I mean, over and over and over again, thousands of workers being killed at a time, and it didn't even happen. I mean, page after page after page after page of the American history book
There was,
has
oh my
just
God,
been
dude.
ripped out.
I don't think I'll even be able to find it. But when I had time to go and shop for books, there it is.
Blammo.
I found this somewhere close by. American History Desk Reference, New York Public Library, and I think it's like a 1990 something edition.
So, all right,
I don't
let's put it
remember.
to the test. Let's put it to the test. Does it have the Baldwin Felts Detective Agency?
Oh, I seriously doubt it.
See, that was the thing. they had these private mercenary groups providing security. Like,
Dude, I was looking up something, and there was a gap in the history in this book of like 30 years where like 4 significant events took place. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
like DynCorp, Triple Canopy, Blackwater. Like, for example, when the Dakota Access Pipeline was being constructed across the Pine Ridge Sioux Lakota Indian Reservation up in South Dakota, outside of Pierre. And we had our water protectors down there at the Osheti Shakowin, the Standing Rock encampment, and Eastern Cherokee, Western Cherokee, and Katua Band, all the 3 federally recognized Cherokee bands, all had water protectors there at the camp. And the camp was constantly attacked by private detective agencies and security guards, using equipment that's better than what the military has. It was the same thing in Iraq Desert Storm. The contractors had better motor pool, better equipment, better armor, better ammo, better everything than regular, active
It's
duty
still that
service
way.
members. It's only gotten worse over time. But so did they have Baldwin
Yeah,
belts?
our army's using equipment that's like decades old at this point.
I was curious, that history book you had, did it have an index in the back?
It does, and it's a
But
rather extensive index.
did it have Baldwin belts?
No, it didn't. The only entry it had for Baldwin was for James Baldwin.
Wow.
That was it.
Probably doesn't even have Pinkerton Agency.
Oh, that's good. I should check for that.
That's another one. The
Let
Pinkerton
me dig
Agency.
it back out of the stack.
How hard have they
I also
memory
found
hold?
this one, dude. This is like from the 1980s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore.
Well, they don't make
That's
them
probably
with
got the
like
old
half of these
definition
words
for woman.
anymore.
Yeah, we don't use the word woman anymore. That's offensive. Humans can get pregnant, not just women. God. Welcome to the future time, Drizzle.
They really should put more light in the studio. It's kind of hard to read with so little light.
So we're looking for Pinkerton.
I'll get there. Just keep stalling for me.
But anyways, Andrew Carnegie was the steel baron out there in
Correct.
Richard Grove's hometown of Pittsburgh. And thanks to Carnegie, they blackened the skies over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh used to just be nothing but smog and pollution. Still kind of is. The mountains and everything don't help. There's nowhere for it to go. But Carnegie enslaved Western Pennsylvania, and he kept the people under his fist thanks to the Pinkerton Agency. And the Pinkerton Agency helped along with the coal, oil, and fire police. The Pennsylvania Coal, what was it? Coal, oil. Yeah, the Pennsylvania Coal, Oil, and Fire Plant. Anyways, it was a private police force that ended up becoming the nation's very first state police force, and that would be the Pennsylvania State Police, which was formed out of a private mercenary army that had been harassing workers. And that became the template then for every other state in the Union to then get a state police force. So from its inception, state police forces were basically private armies of the richest industrial barons in each state. The richest monopolists basically had their own state militia that they could use to
Yeah.
harass, intimidate, and kill workers with.
Yeah, the same way that the local police departments were the slave roundup squads, the runaway
that's right,
slave
slave
roundup
catchers.
squads. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
So,
called
and
it's called rebranding. You just
so the
change your
truth is,
name, but you keep doing the same shit.
American policing is and always has been about labor management.
Yeah. Well, managing the labor force. Yeah,
That's right.
that's right.
That's right. Don't you get any ideas? We'll make another example of one of your coworkers so you'll learn. Your name is Toby now, Kunta. Go
That's
pick
right.
that cotton boy.
And if you have to ask yourself if you are among the labor class, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
And if
either
you don't
know
like
it or you don't, folks. If you
don't
don't
like
know
pissing
it,
in the jug while you're
you're
fulfilling
probably a
someone's order at
slave.
Amazon, hey, you don't have to piss in that jug at the Amazon fulfillment center. Fuck that job. Go work at McDonald's instead.
That's right. Go piss at McDonald's.
But you're only going to get 20 hours there, and they're cutting everybody's hours because they're not getting any sales.
Yeah, but at least they're not going to go fully automated.
Well, they tried.
They did try. It was a good
They did
effort.
try.
Yeah. They're going to try
I'll give
again.
them an A for an
You
effort,
watch. They will try again.
but I'll give them an F for food because it's not fast and it's not food. We've been over
What?
this.
Was there ever a statement from McDonald's about like why it didn't work? Did we ever hear that, or was it just we're not going to do it anymore?
I think that was a silent rollback, kind of like with the dealerships and EVs, because nobody wants them. I mean, the problem is the fucking batteries. The lithium ion batteries are dangerous. I mean, for example, there was a semi truck going from let's see, I think it was northbound. So it was heading from Barstow, California up to Vegas on the I-15. Or as they say in California, on the 15, you take the 5 to the 105 to the 405 to the 15, bruh, like Californians say. Anyways, so you got the semi truck full of fucking lithium ion batteries for EV cars. And I guess that's redundant because EV is for vehicle, right? Anyways, so the semi truck driver on the 15 took a curve too fast right near the Nevada California line, and it tipped his 53-foot long trailer over on the side, and the batteries caught fire. But don't worry, fire trucks got there in a couple hours and put the fire out that
Oh, that's
day.
good. That's good
But it
news.
caught fire again
Oh, it caught fire again. That's
because
awesome.
they're lithium ion batteries. So they had to
Were
come out there the second day.
Were the
and close
firefighters
traffic
still there
again.
when it caught fire again, or had they already left? Like
And
in
they had it-
Lahaina?
They had it totally put out on the second day, but you'll never guess what happened on the third day.
They caught fire again.
They caught fire again. God damn, how do you put these motherfuckers out? So there's been major traffic disruption for people jumping on the 15 in California trying to go to Vegas. But it's now the freeway is now reopened, which takes us to
Well, that's good. People need
one
to
of our
gamble.
recurring segments here on Liberty Radio.
Uh-oh.
Not
Oh.
breaking news,
No?
local news.
Local
That's
news.
right. It's time to put the yokel
Oh, that's
in
the
local.
squirrel noises. We use the squirrel noises for local news.
All right, cue the
Yeah, like the squirrel sitting on your windowsill that wakes you up at 6 o'clock in the morning because it's like chucking or whatever the fuck it does. I don't know. What is that noise that squirrels make that's really fucking loud? Assholes.
We've got the Columbus Dispatch,
Yeah.
Wednesday, July 31st, 2024.
Yeah, that's long
Yesterday.
enough. We're not going to read it. Somebody's going to have to stop the video and look at it.
153 years since 1871. Wow, this thing has got 2, 3, 4 fucking sections. Hells yeah.
Canadian thinks he has a sense of humor. That's funny.
All right. So Franklin County Commissioners unanimously approved Tuesday a $7 million settlement in a civil lawsuit involving a sheriff
Ooh, that's a
deputy
lot of money.
fatal shooting of Casey Goodson Jr.
So the dead man gets $7 million.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's good for his surviving family members.
That's good for his funeral parlor. Whoever's what do you call that?
Oh wow.
I don't know.
The number one headline story. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. New Coda Keo earns
CEO.
What's Coda? Oh, CEO. That's Chief
CEO.
Executive Officer.
Yeah.
And what's COTA?
I have no clue.
Oh, that would be the Central Ohio Transit Authority.
Oh, nice.
Right.
So not
Or
the DMV.
Coda. Coda. So that's the Columbus bus system. All right. So,
Public transportation.
The new Columbus bus boss. I fixed the headline for you folks. New Columbus bus boss earns more than most of her peers. Oh, do tell. Monica Tellez Fowler. Oh, wow. Look at this glam shot. She's hot.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, we can't see that.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, she looks like our buddy Vic.
I know, right? Monica Tellez Fowler.
She looks just like Vic Newland.
And she's got one of those hyphenated names. So
Where is old Vic? She's around here somewhere.
Woman. Monica Tellez Fowler was named Coda's new president and CEO this March.
Yeah.
Monica Tellez Fowler earns an annual base salary of $363,825.
Wait, I'm sorry, how much?
$363,825.
For doing what?
She is the executive director of the Central Ohio Transit Authority.
And who pays her this salary?
Taxpayers of Franklin County, Ohio, to which Columbus calls its home, which is also the capital of Ohio. So her base salary of 363, I'm just going to say 364,000 and round up. Her annual base salary of $364K is more than what transportation agency leaders in Cleveland, Cincinnati, Toledo, Dayton, Youngstown, and Akron all made in 2023. She also has a higher base pay than the leaders of, it went to page 2A, and I just lost interest in this story.
Oh, okay. Oh well.
Your tax dollars hard at waste, folks.
That's right.
Well, the reason why they ran this article is because the Central Ohio Transit Authority is asking Columbus area voters for significantly more funding this November when their payroll expense is over 30% of their annual expense. So, and I'm going to say most of that payroll expenses looks like it's going to the C-suite. Because, they've got a chief executive officer, chief financial officer, a chief fluffing officer, the C-suite. And they all have to make their six figures to do nothing but, get business cards and stuff.
I just figured it out. I just figured
Columbus
it out.
doesn't have any transit to speak of. All they have is a fucking bus system that sucks. Okay, so that was
And that's
on the
it?
main page.
They don't have like a
That-
subway or like
no,
passenger rail lines or
no, nope. They have Greyhound and city buses. That's it.
government medical transport.
I've seen some of the small little vans around. That's about it.
Wow.
Well, let's see what is on.
$365,000 a year to run a damn bus line. Wow.
Oh my god!
Must be wonderful to live in Ohio.
Oh boy, the
We ain't got
the,
nothing like that in Texas.
the communism just intensified like a motherfucker.
Ooh, what you got?
This is from the Metro section on page 3A. Council okays sweeping new zoning laws. Gang, gang, gang. Audience breaks out in applause after the vote. Columbus City Council voted Monday to overhaul the city's zoning code, paving the way for new, higher density development in certain parts of the city. Each of the 6 resolutions amending the city zoning code passed unanimously. More than a dozen residents spoke during the meeting, with most saying that they supported the initiative and believed the new code would improve access to affordable housing for more residents. Because it's all about there's more access to health care and there's more access to housing for residents. Sign a
Right.
lease, you broke bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. But we reviewed all of your check stubs and financial records, and we took your $100 deposit to do all of that. And we're still not going to rent to you, and you're not getting your $100 back. Sorry. But didn't you have more access to housing this time? Fuck you. We're keeping the $100.
That's right.
That's how it works today.
Sucker.
Seriously, what I just described, real fucking life shit for people trying to get into a place.
I believe
Half
it.
the places you go to get an apartment or anything, and you have to pay them money after you give them all of your financial records because they
Yeah.
want to make sure as a landlord that
Application fee.
yeah,
The fuck is that bullshit?
yeah. What the fuck is that? Non-refundable application fee. What's that for? Anyways,
Give me, hey Yona, I got an idea. Give me a little bit of money, and I'll check you out to see if you're good enough to give me a little bit more money. Okay.
whoa, look at this zoning change. Buildings as high as 16 stories with no required parking can be constructed along some major routes with no parking requirements.
Really? How can they possibly get away with that in a country where everybody drives everywhere?
Because this is part of their new TOD developments. We've talked about TODs.
TOD.
TODs. Transit oriented development. You don't need a car. You just take the bus or the street rail, which will get you everywhere you need to go, which is within 15 minutes of where you sleep. 15-minute chitty. TOD. It's how we're making this happen from the blueprint up. Transit oriented development. Hashtag pod life. We've been over this, Drizzle. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Transit oriented development. Build a 16-story fucking building with no parking because, hey, there's a bus stop. You know, down there where the homeless guy shits on the fucking seats. Anyway, don't sit when you're waiting for the bus. Just stand. Trust me. I've seen that guy. He eats at White Castle. That's why it stinks so bad. It's the onions.
It is the onion.
It's the onions on those fucking burgers.
I can confirm.
Oh God, and it gets even worse.
I'm sure
So
it
they're
does.
just the zoning. It's an effort called Zone It, where they've dedicated certain depressed neighborhoods to receive the new brick streets.
How do they know they're depressed? Are they seeking therapy?
Probably BIPOC neighborhoods.
Are they acting out? Have they spoken to these neighborhoods' classmates?
The Franklin County Lodge of the Fraternal Order of Police says that it has cleared its own president, Brian Steele, of wrongdoing.
Oh, that's
after
excellent.
a member filed an internal misconduct complaint in
Oh,
November.
that's such good news.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yeah, we investigated ourselves and we found out we've done nothing wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a pat on the back, won't you?
And everything's fine.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see, folks. Keep it moving.
Oh, here we go. Business. 1,000 AEP workers. That's Appalachian Electric Power Company. It's electric, the light company.
Right.
1,000 electric
Linemen.
workers take offer of buyout. Interim CEO is, again, every other story is talking about the CEOs. Who is this paper for?
Slave class.
About 1,000 AEP employees have taken the power company.
Here's what your masters are doing.
That it says is necessary to
now
reduce
go to work
costs.
and talk about it.
So they just laid off. The company initiated the layoff program in April. At that time, AEP said about 7,400 of AEP's 16,800 employees were eligible throughout AEP's footprint that extends from Michigan to Texas. AEP serves 5.6 million customers in 11 states and has the nation's single largest transmission system. Wow. So they're laying off people while they're going to every single state and asking for rate hikes. Sounds like somebody's found out a way to make more profit. Way to go, electric company.
There you go.
Fuck your customers. Get rich, bitch. All right.
Speaking of more profit, did you happen to catch the pre-show segment about Argentina?
Oh, isn't that where Melee and Hitler and everybody else is?
Yeah, exactly. So they liquidated the country at the beginning of the week, right? They're like, we don't need to keep all this gold here. We can just send it. We can send it somewhere else. We can send it out of the country. We're not going to tell you where we're sending it. We're gonna move it out of here. So they did that at the beginning of the week, and then they decided to switch from being an ANCAP utopia, which they were, right? To being a techno-fascist state. They said that's what we're going to do now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
and we're not even going to hide it. We're actually going to come out and tell you that's exactly what we're doing.
So you mean to tell me the country with historically the single largest the single largest Nazi party by registered individuals was not in Germany. It was in Argentina. The single largest Nazi party on earth.
I would have thought Ukraine, but that's just me.
Was Argentina. And,
I'm sorry.
The
Ukraine.
Right, the
Ukraine. Yeah.
And allegedly
the Ohio State University.
Allegedly one of Admiral Dernitz's Unterboats, that would be Dernitz, who actually took over for Hitler when Hitler got in one of the U-boats and went to Argentina.
I believe it.
His wife
I don't believe he committed suicide.
Lived out
I don't believe any of that
long
shit.
life. and Mangala and others were down there. That's why when I made the
Well, that's what the island
that
of Dr.
song,
Moreau was supposed to be about.
yeah, that's about the Angel of Death. That's about Mangala. Um, oh, what's that song? The Bloody Dots. The song I made with David Icke. When I was
Right.
going through David Icke, I was trying to think, okay, man, there's a lot to pick from. There's a lot to pick from this David Icke cupboard of dots to be connected. So I really got to find some good ones here. So I went with the Hitler and Fletcher Prouty because I thought
Interesting.
those were really good. Because I mean, bro, I will definitely have to go back and remix the David Icke song and put in some of the other ones that I took out because I got to a point to where like, well, I've only got this much time during the song, so what's gonna catch people the most? And to me, I thought talking about Hitler and talking about the Prouty Guide to Assassinations would be the best I could get, because the whole
Yeah.
point is
I
it's
mean,
a
other than
slapping
like
club song.
having like Smedley
You're
Butler
dancing.
reading
You
his
know,
own
you're
audiobook.
if I'm doing it right, it should just be a great dance song, and you're not really paying attention to what that British dude is saying. You're just dancing, and it's great music, and you keep playing it, and all of a sudden you start listening to what he's saying, and then you're like, who in the fuck is this? And then you're like, David Icke. Oh, what? Is it Icky? How do you say that name? And then next thing you know, ha 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 ha, Yona gotcha. It was all part of my plan to infiltrate your fucking brain. Hopefully, it leads to independent thought. And you start to question
We'll see.
more, question everything. Stay vigilant, my friends. I always recommend T-Lab. But
When is, I'm curious, when is the Democratic convention? Do you know?
not offhand.
How long are they going to make us wait for this shit?
I know it's very, 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 very soon.
Yeah, but how soon is very? That's the question.
I'm gonna say it's within the next fortnight. I'm gonna say by August the 14th. I guess I could look it up.
Well, I'm trying to find like a quick answer, and it's not
I'm not a very good.
coming up.
DNC 20.
Oh, okay, so this was written July 29th, saying it's less than 3 weeks
August
away,
19th through the 22nd. Blammo.
Oh, Jesus, it is the second half of the month.
Wow.
So they're just
And
going
I
to be
said the
pulling like
14th.
all kinds of shenanigans for the next 2 weeks leading up to that stupid fucking convention.
Oh,
And then
my
they're going to
God.
pull a lot more shenanigans for the 4 days of the convention. My God. Can you imagine the amount of cope that is going to be in that convention center in Chicago?
You know who would be the ultimate running mate for Kamala Harris?
You know, there are people who think she's going to win.
I got a surprise for you. What if they put Bernie Sanders on Kamala Harris's ticket?
As the Veep?
There's your
Bernie.
old white
They
guy.
hate Bernie.
I
They hate
know,
Bernie.
but it's all fake.
I know it's all fake, but they still hate Bernie.
Yeah, they really do. They really hate Bernie. Even though he's such a Zionist, they still hate him.
I don't know. I'm still kind of liking the idea of President Harris. I mean, it just
That would
seems
do
it seems like the comedy gold mine would just be never ending, you know?
that would do so much to bring Canada and the United States closer together because we've never, ever, 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 ever had a president of the United States that spent their entire formative years, elementary, junior high, high school, living, speaking, learning in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, where they speak Canadian French,
Hmm.
which is even there's Parisian French and then there's Canadian French. And it's not the same. It's like if Parisian French is faggoty and queer, then what do you call Brokeback Mountain attire and they're all speaking French with a lisp? It's like turbo gay.
Yeah. Ultra gay.
Capable. In fact, it has a name. Instead of calling it, they call it Quebecois.
That's right.
Quebecois. Quebecois. See,
Death to
turbo.
Tyrant's knows. He's Scandinavian.
And he knows. Deathy knows. Those turbo gay fucking French Canadians.
Yeah, I mean, he acts like
terrorists.
He's got no sense, but he knows.
They're actual certifiable fucking terrorists in Canada. Those fucking the FLQ, the Front Libération Québécois, literally fucking terrorists.
Are they
And
Jacobins?
everyone else in Canada
Are they
will tell
related
you.
to the Jacobins?
Saskatchewan, man, yes, they're Fabians. Literally, with the flag, with the wolf,
With the
wearing
wolves and the sheep, yeah.
yeah. Yes, yes, and yes. Front Libération, because they had Chrétien and these others. They repeatedly tried to get their independence. I mean, and you can ask any Canuckistani, any Chinadian, all across the other provinces, other than Quebec, and they can all tell you, whether we're talking Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Labrador, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, they'll all tell you they're fucking terrorists. And they eat slop on a plate, call it poutine. I was getting into that on the Telegram earlier. I call it butt queef. When a butthole queefs on a plate. In Quebecois, you call it la poutine. Oh.
So that's what poutine is. All right, I
Yes.
will never eat that. Never.
So basically,
Of course, when I first heard of boudin, I was like, I don't want to eat anything that sounds like that. That doesn't sound
imagine
good.
like it's like it kind of looks like shit on a shingle, except you've got basically like scalloped potatoes or maybe French fries, and then they put like glops of like large curd looking cottage cheese type shit. Just drop it in there, and then cover it with scalding hot gravy, and maybe some like taco meat type ground beef on top or something, and it's just a big nasty sloppy mess. It looks like a butthole queefed, and you have to eat it. I mean, you can't eat it with your fingers. You burn your fingers. You have to eat it with a fork or a spoon or maybe salad tongs or something. I don't know. It's a different country. It's a different culture. I try not to judge, but they're all fucking terrorists. I mean, they're in Canada, but they insist on speaking
Yeah.
French
That's
to the
why we
extent
need to
that
secure
they've
the
made.
borders. Everybody thinks
Well,
the threat is at the south. No, ladies and gentlemen,
in
the threat is
order
not at
to
the south. The threat
appease,
is above us to the north.
you
Bunch
don't
of fucking
understand,
communists
Drizzle.
live up
Okay,
there.
in Canada, every other province in the entire Confederation of Canada all had to bend over and suck Quebecois dick to keep them happy so
Yeah.
they would stop trying to leave the Confederation of Canada.
Because
And
they're
in return,
assholes.
and in return, every single fucking Canadian and all the rest of the country has to put up with French being written on fucking everything. Even though the British defeated the French and told all the French that remained, hey, if you want to stay here, you have to pledge allegiance to our country and not France. And a lot of them, a lot of the Acadians, les Acadiens, they were like, fuck that.
Oh, the Cajuns,
And
yeah.
fuck England. And so les Acadiens went down to Louisiana and they're just called Cajun now.
Yeah.
But the ones that stayed were supposed to shut the fuck up and be Canadian. Quit with the French shit. And here we are. Now you got one of these French fucking terrorists, half fucking Fidel Castro, blackface wearing motherfucker, jizzed in turd hole, ruling over the whole fucking country. Again, one of the French terrorists, just like his father, Pierre.
That's true, because it's true.
Yeah. Deathy knows. Deathy knows about the turd hole family.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You want to hear something interesting, Yona? Because I was digging through the channel, various channel analytics this week, fine tuning things. You know, I was making some changes to some stuff, updating some software and patching some holes and just all sorts of shit, working under the hood, right? Well, I found out in the process of doing that.
I got the perfect thing for that. Next time you're doing stuff like that, Mighty Putty. Billy Mays put me onto that shit. Fixes anything.
Really?
Go ahead.
Okay. The vast majority of our audience on YouTube, 87%, in fact, which I would consider the vast majority. 87% of our audience on YouTube is not subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's wild. So they're just catching it on the fly.
Yeah. Not only are they just catching it on the fly, or they know exactly where to go to get it, because that's pretty much how YouTube works. Like, you stumble across shit every now and then, but unless you know exactly where to go to get it on YouTube, you probably ain't going to find it. Because the search is not going to help you.
I don't watch hardly anything on YouTube specifically. I just use YouTube to get songs and turn them into MP3s and sample stuff. Beyond that, virtually everything that I watch is either through Telegram, Odyssey, Rockfin, or Rumble. I'm just not that.
That's fine.
You know, YouTube and I just kind of, we just don't really. I don't really fuck with you.
Well, they've done you dirty a bunch.
Yeah.
So that's understandable.
And, you know, I mean, after so many times, you know, I can only Charlie Brown kick the football for Lucy so many times before I'm like, fuck that football.
Right.
I'm not going to be Charlie Brown for YouTube over and over and over again, because it's painful to see so many videos and everything just get flushed away. And at this point, I'm about to grovel and ask for my original YouTube channel back, or at least all my files back, because I want those songs that I made 15, 20 years ago now.
Just wait. No, you don't have to grovel. You don't have to do any of that shit. Just wait. Because the way their suspensions and things work, they're all time sensitive. They expire. So more than likely, a couple of years will go by and it'll just appear again. You'll have access to it again.
Well, there's a thing where I could request my files back. And every time I get to that page, I'm so stubborn. I'm like, nah, fuck it. but eventually. Well, I have a
Nah.
feeling that you're going to have a few things to say about this latest remix. And I actually have never even heard it yet because I just cut it and I haven't even done an edit. So I should probably go down here and check the tail end of the song
Yeah.
just to make sure it's not a mess. And I don't know.
How high were you when you mastered it?
All right, it's good.
Okay.
It's good. All right, so yeah, if you want to go ahead and let it rip now, it's 5 minutes long. That'll give us about 8 minutes or so after it's done to wrap up the show and for you to put in your 20 cents worth. I would say 2 cents, but
Yeah.
inflation.
So you want me to play it now?
Yeah, it would be better to do it now because you're going to have some things to say about this.
Oh, good Lord.
I have a feeling.
All right. Well, it's just called egg-shaped. It's not egg-shaped anything. It's just egg-shaped.
Egg-shaped ellipsis.
All right. Here we go.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
It was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with
Jeffrey Epstein.
who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
of soliciting prostitution from minors.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
What did you know about him when you were meeting with him?
Live from the street,
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
I had dinners with him. I regret doing
You
that.
have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
He had relationships with people he said, would give,
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
would give to global health, which is an interest I have.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Those meetings were a mistake.
Got another club banger.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
What he purported, and I cut them off.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
That goes back a long time ago now.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
There's nothing new on that.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
And that, in other words, a number of meetings.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
What did you do when you found out about his background?
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, I said I regretted having those dinners.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
And there's absolutely nothing new on that.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, he's dead, so,
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
in general, you always have to be careful.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
And there's absolutely nothing new on that.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, he's dead, so,
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
in general, you always have to be careful.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
I had dinners with him. I regret doing
You have
that.
what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
He had relationships with people he said, would
You
give,
have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
would give to global health, which is an interest I have.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Those meetings were a mistake.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
What he purported, and I cut them off.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
That goes back a long time ago now.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
So there's nothing new on that.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years,
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
and that, in other words, a number of meetings.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
What did you do when you found out about his background?
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, I said I regretted having those dinners.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
And there's absolutely nothing new on that.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Is there a lesson for you or anyone else looking at this?
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, he's dead, so,
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
in general, you always have to be careful.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, he's dead, so,
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
in general, you always have to be careful.
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, he's dead, so,
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped Jeffrey Epstein.
That was good. That was really good. That may be the best thing you've ever produced musically. In my opinion, of course. It's hard to beat Vegetate, but that may have just beaten it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, it's
like,
definitely better than Ringrat Hoser.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, the whistle. There's something about the whistle. Like I had to time the whistle. That's what I was checking because I wanted the whistle to hit. Because it's the little things that make it.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course,
It's
it's
just
the
the
little things
little
that make it.
things
It's always
here,
the little
you know?
things that make it. Yeah, the tiny little details.
Like Blue Oyster Cult. Don't fear the Ripper. Don't fear the Reaper. It's the fucking cowbell, man.
Of
Doesn't
course.
seem like much, but without Don't Fear the Reaper without the cowbell, totally different song. Take all the whistle sounds out of that track, it doesn't slap. I swear
Yeah.
to you.
Well, similar to Blue Oyster Cult, Yona. I also discovered. It's a good thing the show's almost over, isn't it? I also discovered this week when I was under the hood. We are wildly popular with the 25 to 34-year-old and 35 to 44-year-old demographics. Like, it's not even close. The kids fucking love us.
And what is going on with that one Rumble video that's like over 1,000 views?
I think it slipped through the algorithm. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
I think they got lazy. Like, it was a Friday night. Everybody was kicking back. They were fucking fat and happy, smoked up, drinked up, whatever. And just open lines just shoots right under the radar. starts going fucking worldwide. Alarm bells start going off and shit. People start freaking out. Fucking Peter Thiel's phone starts blowing up. It's what happened.
Well, as I was listening to L'Entoutage, because I made the first cut, and then I added in the voice of Noel Godin, and that was the version that I used for the music video that I put up on Rumble. But then I decided to make another. I just took the French out. That's the Sauf Grenouillard remix, which for those that don't speak French, Sauf Grenouillard means without froggy, or without French. Grenouillard is the slang in French for froggy or frog, which is the nickname for French. Anyway, it's the without French remix. Just marijuana. It's great, marijuana. But as I was listening to it and smoking the weeds, and then I went back and I was listening to the version where he's talking about Noel Godin, et Bill Gates, le tête de titre, blah, 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 all the shit in French. I'm like, you know what? I just kept thinking about that interview where Gates is being grilled about Jeffrey Epstein, and he's like, well, he's dead, so you got to be careful. And I'm like, you know what? I got to make that song. I cannot make a Noel Godin album and not have Bill Gates on that fucking. I mean, this guy did all the planning, learned the security detail of Bill Gates, figured out his entire route in Davos, figured out exactly his one moment where he would be able to get around and pie him in the face, planned it out weeks in advance, pulled it off, and got him in the face with 3 pies.
Oh,
not
damn.
just one. Watch the video. Bam. And then
He
bam.
came loaded
and then
for
bam
bear.
one more time, and then they
He's like,
drag
shit.
him and they throw him to the ground.
We're
going to
get this shit done.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
got
matter what they did.
3-shooter try. We got a 3-pie triangulation on Bill Gates.
Because he had his assistant there with him with 5 fucking pies. He came prepared, man.
Wow.
He had everything worked out.
That man
and
is
so
a
I'm like,
professional.
okay, if I'm gonna have the whole
You have
album
to admire
called,
that kind of dedication, don't you?
if the whole album's gonna be called Pie Facer, then I have to have Bill Gates on the fucking album.
That's the coup de grace.
And there he is.
Yeah.
There he is on the egg-shaped song.
Or as they say in Minnesota, the coup de Gracie.
There you go.
Yeah.
You betcha, eh? Minnesota, eh? Hey, you guys there, you betcha, eh? Oof.
Oh, this will make you happy. Apparently, TikTok is taking some of the restraints off of the Liberty Radio TikTok account. We're getting to reach a little bit wider audience now. So we get to join all the big boys who get censored on TikTok, and we get like 600 views a post now.
Wow.
Regardless of how many
weird,
views it actually gets.
If I go to upload one of my studio recordings or one of my videos with studio recordings on TikTok, goes nowhere. If I just go to the grand piano,
you got to do it on your phone.
Hotel and sit down and just hit record and just sing and play piano live, upload that shit. Yeah. Before I've ever even made it across the river and back home, within 10 minutes, motherfuckers already got 200 views.
Yeah. TikTok forces you to interact with it through the phone.
Yeah.
It does not want you
love the live
on the desktop trying to TikTok. They hate that shit.
Yeah. And that's how I prefer to do TikTok, is what I'm on my desktop.
Well, yeah, that's how I prefer to do everything, is on a PC. But yeah, TikTok has decided that they are going to condition you how they want you to be, Yona. not how you think you should be.
Well, I have to give a big shout out before we go to last night's callers in to the Friday night call-in show for making it such an awesome, awesome show with the highest ratings I have yet to see from viewership, if you're going to go by the metrics. And so, what we had, Whibby Bear and RBL and
Well,
Rob.
it's all, and we'll go long so that I can make this point. I don't give a shit. It's all perception, right? It's what they want you to see. It's not what you're actually achieving on any of these platforms. None of them are fucking honest. It's all about controlling your perception and shaping it into what they want it to be. Shit. Just last week, Mark over at radio8424.com was like, yeah, I got 2 channels on pill.net that are rebroadcasting Liberty Radio right now live. One of them's getting 500 views, the other one's getting like 200 views.
Huh.
But yet we only get 10 views on Odyssey. We only get a couple hundred views on Rumble.
Well, that's what
we
they say.
We were getting 75 views on Twitter. Whatever, man.
Just remember the viewership, when they say they have the viewership metrics, it ends in the word tricks. Metrics.
There you go. That's what it's all about.
Just tak say go hila. Was ligada. Blessings to everyone and all warmed around your fires. And anytime you want to find out more, just fuck around. We'll be here waiting. To find out more, fuck around.